Jacob Roach from the Orange and Brown Report has a recent mock draft out. So at 2 overall, Jacob has the Browns taking Cam Ward from Miami. Luther Burden, wide receiver from Miami, at 33. Another skill position guy, Elijah Arroyo, 67. Second one in the 3rd round, he goes left tackle, Charles Grant from William and Mary. Shamar Turner at 104, and then running back, LeQuint Allen from Syracuse at 179. Let's welcome in Jacob Roach from the Orange and Brown Report, as well as the Barking Browns podcast. So, Jacob, if Cam Ward's there, I would imagine the Browns run the card up as quickly as possible.
If I was in that draft room, yeah, absolutely. If I had anything to do with that, I'd run my fast. That's the first time I'd ever run a 40. But yeah, no, the thing that comes along there with Cam Ward is he's got the most arm talent of anybody in this class at the quarterback position. So for me, I want to bet on the guy that has the most high-end traits. I know there's going to be issues and concerns with the decision making and people want to talk about his bad footwork and stuff. But I want to when I look at Cam Ward, go watch him at Washington State versus him at Miami. There was a lot of cleaning up of that footwork. There was a lot of him playing more in structure. Yes, he goes big play hunting every single snap. But Shadur Sanders does that more than people want to talk about as well. But he's just got elite NFL arm talent, and if I'm wanting to go to that next level, I'm looking for a guy like that.
You come back, take a wide receiver at 33. What do you like about Burden from Missouri?
Luther Burden spent a lot of this year kind of wide receiver 2 or 3 for me. He's kind of fallen in some recent weeks. I think some of that has to do with the fact that a lot of people he projects as a slot-only wide receiver in the NFL, kind of due to some of his size restrictions. Not sure if he can hold up on the outside. I'm not really I don't like to punish people for being slot only wide receivers anymore. I think we have too many offenses having slot wide receivers on the field all the time, like just as often as they have. You're seeing more and more 3 wide receiver sets, but Luther Burden is just so explosive and so creative, and the short area quickness when he's in the phone booth against you, and especially if you're give him any kind of wiggle room because you have to respect that speed, he's going to win. He's going to embarrass you off the line of scrimmage, and what he does with the ball in his hands in the open field, you look back at David Njoku with Joe Flacco when he was he was doing these amazing things after the catch. Luther Burden does that and then some, because I think he's even faster than David Njoku. He's just so creative with the ball in his hands, and whoever the quarterback is, and in this scenario it's Cam Ward, a rookie quarterback especially, or a limited veteran quarterback, needs his wide receivers and his weapons to be able to help him and take some burden off of him. There's a pun right there. And Luther Burden can do just that.
All right, I saw how you did that. I don't think it was intentional. We'll assume it wasn't intentional. All right, you come back and you have Elijah Arroyo, tight end from Miami, and that's a mismatch kind of tight end guy. That's wide receiver / tight end type.
Yeah, and of course played with Cam Ward this year, so you immediately you make his job, you make him feel even more comfortable in your offense because you got one of his top targets. He's a mismatch even without David Njoku. And then you add in that he's going to be the tight end too, potentially, in this situation. He's had some injury issues, and he's kind of a one-year, one-hit wonder, really the only this year being super productive, which is why you're going to see him late into round 3, maybe even fall into early day 3. But his ability to attack vertically, especially down the seam, it's pretty awesome. It's pretty special. Very explosive in short areas. The leaping ability, the ability to high point the ball and make those contested catches, it's there. In this situation, I was trying to surround Cam Ward with as much firepower as possible, and him and Njoku and Burden and Judy, that would be a pretty dynamic set of playmakers.
All right, before we move on, I got to ask you, what do you like about Allen, the running back from Syracuse?
his vision might be the best thing that I like about him. I was doing a podcast recently where we were talking about things that we look for when we scout running backs, and my number one thing. I always come to the vision because if you can't see the rushing lane, if you can't see the cutback lane, if you can't see how things are playing and the defense is trying to counter what your offense is trying to do, if you can't see those things, you can't react to those things, you're not going to be a top tier running back. You've got to be able to understand what's going on in front of you and what you need to do. And I think LeQuint Allen really does a good job of understanding and watching and seeing what's going on. And then even more so, his short yardage ability in the goal to go situations and short yardage, that Kareem Hunt role from a couple of years ago, I think really stand out for me.